What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today I wanted to loop to the other side. So I've been being really positive about what I liked about old games and what I liked about modern fighting games. So now it's time for me to be a negative Nancy. And I'm going to share what I don't like about modern fighting games. So I decided to start here because you see a lot of people just kind of dumping on modern fighting games or just new fighting games that are coming out in general. It's easy to do, you know, it's a classic like old game good, new game bad type thing. However, I think there are definitely legitimate criticisms you can make about modern fighting games. What most people talk about when they say they don't like the direction that modern fighting games are going, for example, is things like, oh, combos are too easy or there's no sauce. So if that's how you feel, that's fine. But I always feel like that is extremely short-sighted. So my issue here, for example, is there's two reasons why. So one, we have games like DBFZ where it's a new combo system and the combos are really odd when you were starting. So people just need to find time to find like the good combos. There are people who are very, very, very good at figuring out combos in new systems, and it just takes a while. So even in like Season 1 Dragon Ball FighterZ, for example, to be honest, almost everyone had the same basic combo, and even today, kind of, almost everyone has the same basic combo. But over time, not only did people discover which are the good assists to help with combos, but one of the defining features of Season 1 of Dragon Ball FighterZ was how you can combo certain supers into supers again. You could stack up on it, leading to extremely long combo extensions that were highly, highly damaging. I'm never really worried about people saying like, oh, the combos are bad or anything, because I know that somebody is going to find something. So my big thing is, and I know people are going to really feel this because, you know, Guilty Gear Strive's out, I'm a Strive player, is how volatile the game can feel sometimes. So we always like have a back and forth about like, are these games random or not, you know, especially because in my opinion, by the way, is no. So I've gone through this personally in like Dragon Ball. I was like, man, is this game random? And eventually I was like, no, honestly, the game's not random. I think the same people do well all the time. In my case specifically, it's more about like just how risk return plays out. So using Dragon Ball FighterZ as an example again, you can combo off absolutely everything in Dragon Ball FighterZ. In Guilty Gear, you can't. And usually in Guilty Gear games, the characters that can combo off all their stuff have a really, really big advantage. I usually want it so that like all the characters have it or all the characters don't have it, because it really messes with like the risk return, and like it makes me feel like, oh, I can't play certain characters because I always feel like I'm at a disadvantage. I actually felt this way big time in Xrd, because in Xrd, a lot of the classic Guilty Gear characters don't often get full combos off other hits. So I'm talking about characters like Milia, Faust, or like Soul, like a character like that. They don't get combos out absolutely everything, or if they do get a combo, they get a short combo. If you confirm into something, if you manage to do it, that's great and all, but you don't get it all the time. But then characters like Raven and Elfelt and Sin, they get combos consistently off basically everything. So the risk return where you're playing against them is really, really different. So this still carries over to modern games. So Strive has the same, really similar problem, where in Strive, the classic characters can either not combo off stuff, or if they get a combo, it's like a really small combo into not a very stressful situation, for lack of a better word, where the extremes of this are definitely characters like Happy Chaos, Nago. They're probably like the two biggest ones that would be in everyone's head, where they just combo off everything. So if you get hit, you are really, really feeling that hit. And I definitely noticed over time that this is just more and more of a thing. I used to kind of come at people who were like, man, like I hate how easy combos are in new games. I used to just roll my eyes, right? I used to always be like, oh, well, like if it's a combo that's good and leads in a good situation, people will learn it. I still feel that way. But I think the thing I was not connecting with when talking to people who played older games, not necessarily the difficulty of the combo, but how often you get it, if that makes sense. Because one thing about many old games is that you don't get combos off all your hits. That's like the true thing, not like how hard the combo is or like how many links you have or whatever. It's just that you don't always get that combo. Like you need to know where that combo works and do it in that specific situation. It's not like you're throwing out random pokes and everything leads into a combo. In rare cases when that does happen, where characters have stuff like single hit into super or stuff like that, it's usually a really, really big advantage. Then the other thing I'm not really feeling is that I don't really like how it feels like the devs force a certain type of situation hard through some type of system mechanic rather than let characters interact organically. So I think Exert does a great job of this, obviously. I think Strive does an okay job at it, kind of. I wouldn't say Strive has a specific system mechanic that we're all like, man, we have to play around this all the time. But if you're talking about like recency, the main one that's probably on everyone's mind is probably like Drive Impact. To be fair to Street Fighter, I feel like every single Street Fighter game, every single main number like Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, really balanced around like this one system mechanic that all the characters have to interact with. Dragon Ball has it in Super Dash and Vanish, probably the main ones, and how like the knockdown system works. Grand Blue has it in like the block button, how the throw tech system works. They really want you to interact in very specific ways. One thing that when we were having this big argument of what is real Guilty Gear and stuff like that, one thing that made me feel really good about Strive very early on is that I did feel like the characters interacted organically with each other. So what I mean is, it's not like we're playing around a specific system mechanic. It's that this character has this tool, these tools in this spot. That character has these tools in that spot. So these are the options they have here, and then people pick based on like whatever. That's what I consider to be like an organic, natural interaction. So, for example, I use Dragon Ball as an example a lot because by design, the anti-airs in this game are pretty weak. Everyone has a universal anti-air in 2H, which can potentially lead to a ton of return depending on your character. But unlike other games, you are committing really hard to this 2H. Everyone's 2H has a lot of total duration. Here's Gogeta's looking to fly to the top of the screen. He recovers in the air, but he's lingering out here for quite a while. So there's a very common situation the opponent can put you in. They can either dash jump at you and press a button, dash jump at you and delay their super dash jump at you and call an assist, or dash jump at you and do something to alter their air momentum while calling an assist. The main issue with these is that outside of dash jumping at you and super dashing, basically all the stuff you can do has like no commit and it lets you see what you're doing. Staying on the ground here is a really bad look. So I never really know what's coming, right? Like if I try to anti-air, cool, the super dash is there. But if I'm waiting for the super dash, they'll be able to do all sorts of other things because I'm waiting for one thing. Like this option only beats like one option. So generally, you either have to respond with system mechanics yourself or just try to run away or meet them air. And this is an extremely common situation in the game in general. Having a team that doesn't have like a good neutral control, that's not good at dealing with situations like this in neutral that revolve around system mechanics plus not committing, using assists and things like that, makes this game honestly really hard to play. It was a really big struggle playing the game until I started building teams around just dealing with system mechanics rather than either playing the characters I wanted to play or playing the characters that had like unique ideas. I had to be like, well, I really detest the system mechanics and they're so good that I have to build a team around just that. My last kind of thing I don't like / small worry is actually a point that I brought up earlier the year. I mean, which I do think is happening, by the way, in that I don't think we're going to see a lot of original large fighting game IPs anymore. I think everything is going to be either licensed or like counting on nostalgia. I'm playing Guilty Gear Strive right now, and Guilty Gear is an original IP, but it is a very old, so it's probably from like the 90s or something, right? Or there's Street Fighter, which has been around since like 92. Mortal Kombat is like 90s. But then you have Injustice, for example. Injustice is DC fighting game, right? DC characters. I basically don't think we're going to get a new Blaze. If we do get a new BlazBlue, I would be truly shocked. But this exists, so who knows, right? Grand Blue based off Grand Blue Fantasy, DBFZ based off Dragon Ball, Guilty Gear Xrd, Guilty Gear, right? Skullgirls is original, but this game's from like 2012. Fight of the Gods is original but kind of niche. You can just ignore this game, wink wink. On the one hand, is cool because especially if you like the IP or like the IP is a big IP, you can expect support and a lot of people playing. But it's a little sad that we won't see like original stuff. Maybe that's a little bit of nostalgia or boomer energy, but there was definitely an age of just like a ton of random fighting games. Like you're not gonna see like, for example, Ocarina of Heart come out in 2022 or 2023, right? That game was truly while definitely for a specific crowd, it was a truly original IP with very original ideas. So I think we're still gonna get the new ideas, which is cool. But I just kind of wish we had like a whole package. Like I don't even think we're gonna see something like LordKnight again anytime soon, which is kind of sad in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.